200 American troops are headed to Nigeria to help stop the killing of Christians by Islamist militants. President Trump promised to protect Christians and others under persecution and execution there last year when he designated Nigeria a country of particular concern over the attacks and mass killings and kidnappings. Earlier this week, Congressman Riley Moore was in focus.
Right now, the folks that I am talking to on the ground have described what's happening in the Middle Belt in the north of Nigeria right now in the last 10 days as a bloodbath. It's just wanton death and murder and destruction that continues. But working with the administration, we are making steps in the right direction to address this persecution. The president is very singularly focused on addressing this.
And it is in the Faulkner Focus, and we continue our coverage. Senior foreign correspondent Jillian Turner. Jillian.
Good morning to you, Harris. President Trump is accusing Nigeria's government of complete and total failure to protect its own citizens from terrorist attacks. So now the Pentagon is deploying, as you mentioned, U.S. service members in the hopes that those troops can help Nigeria's military to help its own people. There are 200 troops, as you mentioned, who are going to be deployed to Nigeria. They are going to work hand in glove with a very small U.S. footprint already there on the ground. They are focused on the fight against Islamist terror groups, Boko Haram and ISIS. Here's the president last week, Harris.
When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is.
Nigerians have been hit by a series of deadly attacks in 2026 so far. Militants regularly raiding markets, villages, churches, schools all across the country. More than 240 people have been killed so far. This U.S. troop deployment follows, as you mentioned, the designation of Nigeria as a country of concern in October. Back then, President Trump cited the killing of 3,100 Christians known last year, as well as joint U.S.-Nigerian strikes on terror targets on Christmas Day. The U.S. envoy for religious freedom says that terror groups are actually getting a helping hand, unfortunately. Take a listen.
Nigeria is now the deadliest place on the planet to be a Christian. At the same time, the Nigerian government is seeking and receiving support from countries I previously named: China, Russia, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. I wonder why.
It's really interesting, Harris, to look at the demographics of African nations writ large, because nearly half of the entire continent today actually identifies as Christian. This is a huge demographic change from 50 years ago. 100 years ago, it was less than 9% of people in the country. This incredibly swift and transformational change, I guess, is coming with a huge cost. Harris?
Well, and for the first time, there have been studies, Pew among them, that have looked at the size and scope of Christianity around the globe. And by numbers, it is now outnumbering other religions on the planet. So what you're watching is where that's happening in particular. Jillian, thank you very much.
Hey,